pleasure to be here with all of you. And yes, I am coming from a retreat with 40 girls. Didn't sleep a lot, so hopefully I can say something that makes sense right now. And I'm not sure if Father Jared's going to invite me back, because last time I organized a retreat, he got covered in like chocolate and SpaghettiOs, and this time he got covered in colored powder. So I don't know, how many of you have met a consecrated woman before? Okay, most of you. Okay. So I've been consecrated for 18 years, and I live in a community with currently 5 other consecrated. We have 6 of us. We have a 7th person coming in 2 weeks. And I'm stationed in Detroit. I have lived in Rhode Island, Guadalajara, Mexico, Atlanta, and right now I'm in Detroit. This is my 2nd year. And I haven't gotten a lot of sleep, so I'm trying to say something congruent here. So I actually started, I've been in Regnum Christi since I was 10 years old. I started in ECYD. I grew up going to ECYD retreats. Both of my parents were in Regnum Christi. And Regnum Christi is something that has shaped my life, because it shaped a lot of decisions that my parents made when we were young. We would always pray together as a family. Growing up, my dad was a strong spiritual leader in my household. Every night we would either pray the rosary. Sometimes he would read the Bible to us at night and talk to us about God's faithfulness and God's love throughout the Bible stories. And sometimes we would pray the Liturgy of the Hours together as a family in the evening. But my whole life we always did family prayers growing up. And when I was 10 years old, I went to my first ECYD retreat. And I came home and I told my mom, I want to be part of ECYD. She goes, what's that? And I was like, I have no idea, but it's a lot of fun. So I joined ECYD, and even though I was only 10 years old, it was definitely for me an experience of God's love, of being able to see how he died for me, how he loves me, how he's present in the Eucharist. And from the time I was 10 till I was 15, I went to a lot of different ECYD retreats, and it definitely impacted my life, which is why it gives me a lot of joy to be able to do that for other kids now. And when I was 15 years old, I actually started going to a boarding school in Rhode Island to discern my vocation a little bit more formally. This boarding school doesn't exist anymore. You have to wait till you're a little bit older to discern now. But it was something that I felt very drawn to as a place where I could have daily mass, daily prayer, spiritual direction, and take time to really discern my vocation. And when I was only 16 years old, one day I went to go visit. I was living at this high school, but I went to go visit the university where the consecrated were studying. And I walked into the back of the chapel there, and it was where we would study. It was actually an old orphanage, so the pews were tiny, so I kind of squeezed into the back, and there's beautiful stained glass windows. I knelt down, and at first I was just looking at the way the light was coming through and the beauty of the church, and then realized that the Blessed Sacrament was exposed, so focused in on that for a second. And as I was looking at the Blessed Sacrament, I just felt Jesus tell me, this is your home. And I knew, I moved around a lot. I think I moved like 15 times when I was growing up. And I knew that Jesus didn't mean that physical building in Rhode Island, which we actually just sold. But I knew he meant he was my home. And that Regnum Christi, that consecrated life, was the place where I was meant to be and where I would always belong. So I decided, I felt called, I felt invited to give my life to Jesus in Regnum Christi. And I had to finish high school first though. So I finished high school and I made my first vows when I was 18, which again, you can't do that anymore, but I made my first vows, and then a couple years later made my final vows in Regnum Christi. So that's a little bit of my vision.